What's going on, everybody? This is John Jank Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Realignment Dynasty here on NCAA 14, featuring that college football revamp, of course. We're out here, man. We are getting ready to start year number 3 of this series. We get a new opportunity coaching at the University of Oklahoma as their offensive coordinator. We get promoted from Troy. So shout out to Troy being a little bit of a springboard lead for us here, man. We get to start things out a little bit easy. We will make our debut against FCS Northwest here today, and I mean, if we don't blow these guys out, I mean, it is going to be rough sailing here for the rest of the season, man. Like, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Their D's across the board. We're A pluses across the board ourselves, so I'm feeling pretty good with what we got going on here, man. But we come in with some huge expectations. You saw that ranking by our name, man. We are #1 in the country. We got some tough teams in our conference, too. TCU, they're expected to be back. They're starting as a preseason #2. Texas A&M's in our conference as well. They're #4. And there was one more team that was in the top 10, and that was Texas. Texas is #9. So, I mean, we got a pretty brutal conference this upcoming season, man. We come with a lot of expectations. I mean, like, if we don't make the playoffs, it's a bust. And even then, not all of our fans are going to be happy unless we win the national championship game. So, you know, we got to take care of business here. There's big expectation that comes with a prestigious job like we got now here as the offensive coordinator. But best thing that we can do, focus in on this game right here. Focus on what we can control. It's going to be a great matchup, man. I hope you guys are really excited for it. If you are, make sure you go ahead, smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well if you have to be brand new. And with that, I'll see you guys on the field with Maurice Royals' coaching debut as the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. Let's go ahead and put on a show, baby. Let's go. Alright, boys, so we are out here, man. Heroic return to the alma mater. You already know. For those that followed the last NCAA series, Maurice Royal was an alumni here at Oklahoma University, part of a national championship team of himself, and now in a position to help coaching that squad up, as we're going to see, you know, what kind of talent we got on this team, man. You know, 99s overall across the board, but we're running a brand new system, so this is going to be a good opportunity for us right here to get used to the playbook a little bit, or at least for our guys on our team to get used to the playbook. We know a thing or two about running it, obviously. As Drew Ryan, he gets out in the open space. He's looking for the end zone, and he's going to be brought down. Looks like just at about the 1-yard line. So, going to go ahead, try to finish this drive real quick. And Lonnie Covington finds some space there in the back of the end zone. And our first drive as the offensive coordinator is going to end in a touchdown. Don't know why they showed Kevin Carpenter stuff. That's our backup quarterback. I don't think he was in the game. But if it does get a little bit too out of control, then maybe Kevin Carpenter will get a little bit of playing time here today. But, I mean, the score is still only 7-0 here. So, you know, we still have plenty of football left to play, right? But got 3rd and short here. Going to try to pick it up using the halfback screen, as perfect timing as FCS, they sent the blitz against us, but no one accounted for Willie Lewis out of the backfield. And that's something that I want to be cognizant about, making sure Willie Lewis does end up getting enough touches. He is a 99 overall guy, and he needs to be involved in this offense just to make sure that we get ourselves back to the college football playoff. But the thing about DeAngelo's, man, this dude is a straight cheat code, dude. 90-something speed. He's able to get outside the pocket there, and when he gets out the side of that pocket, it's simply barbecue chicken, man. Easy touchdown. Doesn't even end up getting touched whatsoever, and it's already a 14-0 game. But the FCS team, they're going to respond. They're going to get a touchdown on the board, so it is still a 1-possession game. I'm actually surprised our defense allowed any points, but hey, I'm just the offensive coordinator. It be like that sometimes when you simulate the defensive portions of this game. And we're seeing a little bit of inexperience here on this play, as well as we had the check down. We had that first down, but you know, DeAngelis, he wanted more. He wanted more yards out of the play, trying to go down deep downfield. But Drew Robinson, he was right where he needed to be, the middle linebacker, helping his team force a turnover. And it remains a kind of close game here. Only a one-score game here. 4 minutes left to play in the first half. So not exactly where we want to be, but hey, that's where we end up being right now. So we threw an interception on that last possession. We'll see if we can get ourselves back on track here. See if we can make sure that second possession here goes a little bit better. But DeAngelis, he does it again. He didn't want to give up on that play because it was a third down, but probably would have been better off throwing that pass away. As Walter Gonzalez this time around, he's actually going to get the interception there. Now FCS can take advantage, so we still have the lead, but certainly could be playing better. You know, we had that great start in the first quarter, and we haven't been able to turn around yet. We'll see if this is the drive where, you know, we start to get reestablished in that rhythm. As DeAngelis is going to drop back in the pocket. They do have a spy on the edge to make sure we don't escape the pocket, but did a nice job finding Andrew Hargrove over the middle. He does make his first catch of the day. And we're across midfield once again as DeAngelis scrolling to his right, but finds Andrew Hargrove once again, who trying to get himself back up. He actually does briefly. He was just chilling on some of the bodies of, you know, the FCS defense. Refs never blow it dead. Hopefully we have a little bit more realism in that regard when the newest EA College football comes out. You know, we'll have to wait and see how those group, which by the way, a few guys from College Football Revamped, they are working on that game, so that does give me a tad bit of hope as Greg Coleman gonna find the end zone for us. Touchdown Sooners, and we will take a 2-score lead going into the halftime locker room. So not as big of a lead that I wanted to have, but you know, it is what it is. 21-7 lead. We're still, you know, we are controlling this game, just not exactly as dominant as I thought we were going to be. As Drew Ryan, one man left to beat. I'm surprised that didn't end up being some kind of face mask penalty, but that will get us into the red zone here and a chance to get more points on board. As Hargrove, how is that not a touchdown? How? Well, that should be a touchdown if we're being realistic about it, but in NCAA, that has us down at the 1-yard line. And we will run with it. Antoine DeAngelis, his second rushing touchdown of the day. That puts us up 28-7 here. So the 1-yard line will, many controversy, you know, doesn't stop us from getting any points. I mean, we still score, but I'm just saying, man, like, that man was definitely in the end zone. I don't know what else to tell you, you know. But Drew Ryan's having a fantastic day so far, 9 for 177. They're having a really difficult time covering. They do shadow him with a double team here, but now we're seeing some of our other receivers get a little bit more open here. Greg Coleman with a nice grab. It's going to be a gain of 17. And now 4 wide set, 3rd and long. Going to get it out to Andrew Hargrove here, and Hargrove able to get himself out of bounds there. Gain of 16. That's his 4th catch of the day. It sets us up outside of the red zone now, 1st and 10. DeAngelis looking around. He's going to maybe think about the end zone here a little bit, but he's just going to run it instead there and just using that really elite speed there to get to that 1st down marker. As it now sets up 1st and 10 from about the 13. Looking towards the end zone, and we find Drew Ryan, who has all those catches and all those yards. But we finally get a touchdown to go with it as well. In Oklahoma here, taking a 35-7 lead, but FCS, they will score again. So it still remains a free score game as DeAngelis on the next drive. He's going to send this thing downfield. He has multiple guys open as Andrew Hargrove dives for that football. Huge 1st down. And here comes the Sooners looking for that 40 burger before we get into the end of this 3rd quarter. As we get into a goal line set here, a couple plays later. DeAngelis with the play action, rolls right, finds the tight end, and it is Scott Evans He was able to show some, some very sure-handed catching there. Didn't even have to use aim at the body. That's a positive sign for someone, any receiver trying to make it to the NFL. And it's a 42-14 lead. Looking to build that lead even further. We'll see if we can, approach that 50 burger before we go ahead and get ourselves into the fourth quarter. But that's not going to be a worry, though, as that is our starting tight end, Justin McDonald, who was lined up kind of in that slot position over the right-hand side, and FCS just had no idea what to deal with it. Head coach decides to put in the backups after that, and it was the performance that we were looking for. A little bit of a slower start than I wanted, but 77-14, can't complain. So it certainly wasn't the perfect game that we were necessarily looking for. I mean, DeAngelis did throw 3 interceptions in his first time as the starter, but this was one of those games where we didn't really take FCS seriously in the beginning, and then we realized they could potentially play with us, and then we turned it up a notch. Did also get to see Kevin Carpenter playing. He actually makes his collegiate debut here in this FCS matchup. 5 for 8, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns too. You love to see that. Running game, again, our playbook's known for passing the football a lot, but Antoine DeAngelis, man, he's going to be really intriguing of a football player. Talk about a guy, has 90 speed, I think, 6 carries, 43 yards, 2 touchdowns. Love to see that. Aaron Williams, our freshman running back, he also gets a 34-yard touchdown as well, with Willie Lewis and Marcus Hayden, getting some good yardage as well, 6 and 5.5 yards a carry apiece. But receiving-wise, man, we got some great wide receivers. So Drew Ryan being one of them, 10 catches, 189 yards, and a touchdown. Greg Coleman did also hit that 100-yard threshold with 8 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. Andrew Hargrove, the number 1 receiver we have on this team, he ends up going 5 for 116. Lonnie Covington got kind of touchdown pass. Scott Evans, one of our tight ends. I believe he's our backup tight end, actually. He ends up with 2 scores. Marcus Hayden ends up with a score, and then Justin McDonald, our senior preseason All-American, starting tight end as well, 1 catch, 27 yards. We lined him out at wide receiver 2, and North Dakota, or FCS Northwest, they look like North Dakota State, so give me a break. But they had no idea what to do with him. So we got to work on the turnovers. We can't turn the ball over as often as we did here today, but I mean, it really is hard to complain when you put up 77 points in your season opener. Well, the University of Oklahoma was busy, getting itself warmed up for the rest of the season. There was some marquee top 25 matchups here in the early season, one of which involves one of the custom coaches, Justin Jones. Now, he was the defensive coordinator at UCF, still there, as UCF looks to go ahead and get themselves into the college football playoff 2 seasons in a row. And they start with a big matchup here in the Deep South Conference, taking on number 14, Florida. As we go ahead and check out on a studio update that came about from this game, Colorado beating Colorado State, but Marcellus Wallace playing pretty well in this one, 16 carries, 98 yards. And so, we know what's to expect for this upcoming season, as UCF gets an interception, and it's a foot race. Can the offensive lineman showing a little bit of wheels there to catch up to the defensive lineman, Ben Jennings, was able to read the eyes of Larry Jones there, and is almost able to get a pick 6, just did not have the wheels there. UCF going to use that, and they're going to take an early lead here, 10-6. Pretty defensively involved matchup here, as the Golden Knights, get a second turnover in this game. And surely Justin Jones, he's going to be really excited about that, as Dallas Berry gets his very first interception of the season. And that was not an easy looking catch either. The fact that he was able to come down with it, that is certainly something else. And now a 17-6 lead here, as UCF was able to capitalize off of that. So here we go, 11-point game, and it's another interception for the Golden Knights. UCF just inside the head of Larry Jones right now. He was looking for Jody Gentry. who does come into this season as the #1 receiver on this team. Very talented, true junior. One of your custom guys. Matter of fact, I believe that's belongs to a channel member. Before that, they're going to work themselves back into this game a little bit. A touchdown here late in the third quarter where Jones able to settle himself down enough to lead a nice steady drive. They do end up going, they thought about going for the 2-point conversion. They didn't do so. They get another touchdown. So all of a sudden, Florida up 20-17, but the defense for UCF right now, it really did come and play a terrific game so far. Gonna get a 4th turnover, and UCF is actually going to get themselves a comeback there, and they're gonna win this thing by a final score of 24-20 for a team that does have aspirations to try to get into the college football playoff. That's a huge deal. But with that being said, Mid-Tennessee State, led by Coach Gentry, he's got his boys ready to go. They are taking on a team that is also making its way into the top 25. We got the Minnesota Gophers, yeah, starting out in the top 25, ranked number 21 in the nation. We saw them in a minor bowl game last year, back in season number 2. We got a lot of punting for Jacob Wakefield as well in that bowl game, a custom recruit at the punter position. But things are tight early. It's all knotted up at 3 apiece, but Mid-Tennessee State, they go for the long ball, and sure enough, it's Corey Lee on the other end that comes and makes that catch, but having some troubles getting to the goal line as it's 4th and goal. They try to run some kind of halfback draw there. Bold strategy for Cotton, and I'm sure that head coach is going to be extremely pissed. Being able to get inside the 5-yard line and not even being able to finish there, that is really tough. That is the difference between them and Minnesota. Minnesota, when they get a big play downfield, they turn that into a touchdown. Mid-Tennessee State, not always the case. And the Gophers, man, at TCF Bank Stadium, we're going to take an early 10-3 lead here. So we'll see if the Blue Raiders can get themselves back on track here, as we don't see that. We unfortunately see an interception instead. First turnover of the season for Travis Beverly here in his opening day, and it's Andrew Bain who did come up and make an insanely leaping grab. Now Minnesota can't take advantage, so it still does remain a 1-score game as of right now. But how about this effort though up the middle? That was a 3rd and 17, and Josh Pope was able to get that first down. They do settle for a field goal there, but now you don't 100% need a touchdown to get back in this game. It's only a 4-point difference. And now we got the turnover as well. Chad Daniel showing up and playing. You know, Mid-Tennessee State, they are still certainly in the midst of a rebuild as of right now. But that being said, though, you know, this is a team, you know, they play hard for their coach. That is something that is definitely not to be mistaken whatsoever. They play really hard for their coach. It's going to need some time still to get some of his players in place, but you know, definitely getting the most out of his guys right now as Travis Beverly gets a great run of the right-hand side. That gets him up in the field goal range, but again, can't necessarily finish though. 15-16 game. Mid-Tennessee State still in this game, but this could spell some trouble. Not only does Travis Beverly get picked off, but it also ends up turning into a pick 6 the other way. So now, Blue Raiders, they need a touchdown if they want to go about winning this, or at least tying this game up. I mean, even if they get the touchdown here, they will need to go for that 2-point conversion. So we'll see what they got, man. As we got Sanders in the pocket, 4th and goal, chance to win the game. He's looking for someone to get open, but Travis Beverly just runs out of time, unfortunately. And that is going to wrap things up here. At least a little bit of a custom coaches update. 1 winner and 1 loser out of 2 custom coaches that have played against top 25 opponents. Mid-Tennessee State, they did their best to get the upset bid going. Defensively, they played extremely well too. But the offense not getting any touchdowns, that does cost them. But now for the second part of this doubleheader, we do go out there. We have a little bit more difficult of a challenge. We go forth and play against an actual FBS team. Now, granted, even though Old Dominion is part of the FBS ranks, they aren't that talented of a football team. They're only a C+ overall squad, C offense, B- defense. Y'all already know what it is. We're A+ across the board. We're averaging 77 points a game, and that is easily number one in the NCAA as of right now. So hoping we can do the same thing that we did to FCS Northwest. We had a little bit of a slower start, but if we do what we need to do, we can take care of business and we can get another huge win, and maybe we can get ourselves up out of here relatively quickly so that we can keep this episode a little bit shorter. So I'll see you guys on the field for this second game. And again, if y'all enjoying the content, by the way, make sure you go ahead, smash that like button, hit subscribe as well if you have to be brand new. Let's go ahead and get it done on our home field. So we take care of business with ease against an FCS squad, but now things get a little more interesting with an FBS team, playing some guys that, might have some NFL level talent here at Old Dominion, at least like trying to get itself established on the roster. As we'll go ahead, we'll attack the slant pattern early. Drew Ryan, he had all that space upfield but couldn't get away from those defenders though. As we now have a 3rd and 15. As DeAngelo's looking to scramble out of the pocket, needs a first down. He's going to actually make a cut away from the sideline to make sure that we actually get that first down, and we do end up getting it. That's one thing I do love about DeAngelo's. He will scramble out of the pocket if need be, but he can also throw ropes like that, though, to Scott Evans. That's a 22-yard catch right there that gets us inside the 5-yard line. Old Dominion definitely out of sync, and we take advantage, hiking the ball, but they are still making adjustments to their defense, and Drew Ryan gonna get the first points on the board for us here, roping in there in between two separate defenders, and a 7-0 lead for us here. We'll see if we can keep that pressure up. 2nd and 8, gonna go ahead, hand it off to Willie Lewis, who takes it upfield and does manage to go ahead and pick up a gain of 8. So a huge first down for us, but facing 3rd and long though. Gonna try to pick up this first down. DeAngelo's 5 wide set, looking, gonna have to dump it off to Lonnie Covington, but Old Dominion does a really good job of rallying to the football there so we don't get the score that we were looking for. But we're not going to score on every single drive. That's okay, as long as we win the important games. And DeAngelo's needs to do a better job of placing that football. He was open. That safety was on the opposite side of the field that ended up getting that interception, but because that ball was thrown on the inside instead of like towards the outside or even a little bit further downfield, end up getting picked off. Probably should have looked more air under it. But, it's his first year starting. He's still learning, and he does have an insane amount of talent. Antoine DeAngelo's 8-yard rush, you see it in his legs, and he is still developing as a passer. When he becomes an elite passer, though, watch out, because he is going to be a very dangerous man as well. So I'm really excited about that. As DeAngelo's going to throw it out to the perimeter, gets it out to Drew Ryan. As Old Dominion they were simply not ready for that kind of work. And now, 2nd and short, going to go ahead, hand it off to Willie Lewis. And Lewis will plow himself forward for a gain of 6. Steadily moving ourselves downfield. As now, a few plays later here, 3rd and long, going with the 5 wide set. DeAngelo's looking downfield. It's going to go ahead and just dump it off to Andrew Hargrove. So at least it sets up a decent field goal attempt. But here's the thing. Our kicker does end up missing the field goal. So it still remains just that, a 7-0 game. And you hate to see it, man. Like, we did all of that work to drive ourselves down the field, and it doesn't even lead to anything. Matter of fact, the Monarchs here, man, they're actually doing a pretty good job of keeping everything in front of him. Like, we're not getting the big plays I was hoping that we would be able to get. At least not yet. It's going to happen eventually. We just got to stay patient about it. Is now 2nd and long. Gonna go with another play action. Got a nice one-on-one on the outside. Get it out to Coleman. And Coleman with a big gain downfield. Setting up basically a goal line set. 2nd and short. And that should be barbecue chicken into that end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. And the Sooners get another one on the board. And we make it 14-0 after the extra point. And Old Dominion still has not scored a single point yet, so we can really start pulling away here before the end of the first half as Lewis fighting forward, getting a few extra yards in the process, man. That is some tough running that I'm talking about, baby. Is now going for another run once again, this time the option. DeAngelis, he's going to keep it, trying to follow the blockers. Doesn't have enough blockers getting to the end zone, but 18-yard gain gets him into the red zone. Looking for a 3rd and long, though, trying to finish this drive off. Got that middle of the field, should be open enough. Gonna try to throw it in there, but can't haul it in, though. And we had to settle for yet another field goal attempt. And while our kicker does make the field goal, ODU does go ahead and get the goose egg off the scoreboard. So with a minute left, trying to go out there, getting some more points on the board before we go into the halftime locker room. We do have 3 timeouts as well, as DeAngelis looks right again. He's going to calmly deliver this ball to the tight end, Justin McDonald, who does get himself out of bounds. Allow us to save that timeout. 1st and 10, 54 seconds to play. Looking over the middle, gets it out to Coleman. And Coleman's able to make that big catch as well, but it's not out of bounds. So we got to get to the line of scrimmage quickly. 2nd and long. Looking to the tailback. Willie got some space. Does he find the end zone? No, but he does. Get it inside the 5-yard line. And another goal line set. Going 4 wide, 4 verts till it hurts. DeAngelis, we're going to run it in there, and it becomes a glorified quarterback draw as we had the numbers that we were looking for. And it's going to be an easy end zone score for Antoine DeAngelis. And here we go. Going in 24-7 at the half. We're looking good so far. So let's see if we can go out there and do some things here in the second half. As DeAngelis looking around. 1st and 10. Got another man open downfield. It's Greg Coleman. Now we're really starting to see those bigger plays start to open up. Not necessarily getting that home run ball that we're looking for, but we are at the very least, we're getting some more doubles. We're getting some more triples, those kinds of plays. And it's leading to the ultimate goal, getting that touchdown on board. Another touchdown courtesy of Willie Lewis. Is going to be a 31-7 ball game. You love to see it. And now we're also forcing turnovers as well. So we start this next drive out in their territory. So we got that going for us. Drew Ryan shaking off a tackle as well. I thought that was going to be kind of a hospital ball, but that was more of a hospital ball for the other team. You love to see that kind of effort. Is down. DeAngelis looking around. He's going to try to scramble away from the defender. Defensive lineman can't keep up and is able to get himself out of bounds. Gain of 9 for Antoine DeAngelis. He's closing in on 100 yards rushing so far on the day. As we get it out to Willie Lewis. Halfback screen. Looking to spin his way into the end zone, but can't quite get it in there. Going to be down at the 1-yard line, as the GG9 would always say, for his NCAA 14 series. Highly recommend checking that out. It's got 4 team builders going at the same time. Pretty cool stuff. So y'all need to go ahead and check that out. That's Gold Glover 9. For those that maybe are not familiar, he's a lot bigger. So y'all should have heard about him before me, right? But just in case, definitely recommend checking that out, right? So yeah, anyways, 3rd and 6 for us here. We're up by 28 at this point. ODU, they did tack on a field goal. It's going to count as an interception, but you can't blame that on the quarterback. I mean, you know, a receiver has to come down and make that catch. But it was also a really great play by a defender as well, so I can't even be that mad about it. I'm disappointed. That's really what it barrels down to. I am simply disappointed about it, as Marcus Hayden, he's going to rush forward, pick up a gain of 11. It's now 1st and 10 coming up. DeAngelis looking downfield, going to scramble to the right immediately, but then going to throw one right on the money for Lonnie Covington. That's going to get us across midfield. Depending on how this drive goes, this might be the final drive for the starters. Might be getting the backups if we can come out of this drive with some more points on the board. We're looking pretty secure in the victory as of right now, as DeAngelis throws another great ball. Nice execution on the screen over to Drew Ryan, who really is making his presence felt in the first couple of games. I mean, 2 games that we ended up playing, you know, a little double-header action, and we got, you know, 2 100-yard games. Matter of fact, Drew Ryan also with 2 separate touchdowns to go with it as well, and that was far too easy, as we do end up seeing Drew Ryan waltz his way into the end zone, and it's another huge win for us here. We take care of business, winning by a score of 52-10. Let's go, baby. So we have ourselves a little bit slower of a start, but that being said, you know, we pick things up again in the second half. You know, we win 28-3 in that second half, so that we can go ahead and get the backups in. You know, getting plenty of Kevin Carpenter action, you know, in the 4th quarter. That's going to be invaluable experience whenever Antoine DeAngelis does end up moving on from collegiate football. Listen, he did have 2 interceptions today, but one of them wasn't his fault. One of them was just a fantastic heads-up play by the defense. One was, you know, not a play that we wanted to see, but still 2 touchdowns, 350 yards in the air. You love to see that. Kevin Carpenter looked good in garbage time as well. 5 for 5, 62 yards and a score. Now, of a running game, we didn't have anyone with over 100 yards, but, you know, Willie Lewis and Antoine DeAngelis is easily, from a running perspective, the most dangerous backfield in America. 19 for 87 for free and 3 touchdowns for Willie Lewis, while Antoine DeAngelis, he only had the 1 touchdown, but more efficient with his carries, 11 for 86. Now, for the receiving game, we actually only had 1 receiver that eclipsed 100 yards today, and that was Drew Ryan, the sophomore redshirt from Sheffield Lake, Ohio. Ends up with 12 catches, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Lonnie Covington was almost there. He was actually 1 yard shy of a triple-digit performance, but 8 for 99 is nothing to scoff at either. And then Kyle Smith, he actually, I believe he caught a touchdown from Kevin Carpenter. It was his only catch of the day, but it's 17 yards, and of course, you know, contributes to that scoreboard as well. So we get off to a pretty good start. You know, loved what I saw from the offense overall. I mean, we scored 120 plus points in 2 weeks. I mean, it's hard to really complain about that. Definitely have some things to work on, but next episode, we will actually go ahead and have our first rivalry game as the offensive coordinator of Oklahoma. We will be taking on Oklahoma State. They are undefeated as of right now, and they have a really strong offense to go with it as well. 48 points a game. They're in the top 10 as of right now, so should be a fun rivalry game. Could have a ton of points in there, and I'm really excited about that opportunity. But in the meantime, though, if you guys did go ahead and enjoy the content, I need you guys to go ahead and do me a little bit of a favor, man. Go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button if you do happen to be brand new. This is John J. Gaming on the mic, signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.